Morning. It's 6 a.m. and the start of a very long travel day for me. I've got to get ready and head out to start my summer holidays. I've got my clothes laid out.
Travel is pretty easy from Salo. It's a short walk to the train station and I can be at the airport in about 2 hours after boarding the train. One complaint I have about VR trains is the lack of space for big luggage. At least if you take the bus, there's plenty of space underneath for bags. I think there's some restrictions on how much you can take for free, but I'm not sure what it is.
I'm finally on the train and on my way to Orlando. I always feel like the holiday really starts as soon as I leave home. So yeah, I'm really excited and looking forward to this day of travel. See you later.
The seats cost €15 each. I paid an extra €20 to have a 4-person compartment to ourselves. So the total trip to the airport was €50 for 2 people. They also have 2-person compartments, but they're a bit claustrophobic and our luggage would never fit inside. Warning to people flying to America. You can't use the bag drop for Finnair. There are special desks for American flights where you'll be asked security questions. Once asked, it's noted on your boarding pass. If by some chance you're able to sneak through and use the bag drop, then they'll stop you at the gate and ask you the security questions. There was a big group of Spanish speakers ahead of me at the US check-in desk, and it was a struggle for the agent to get through all the security questions, so it took a really long time for me to check in. Once I got to security, I was pulled aside for a further bag check. I always plan a little extra time at the airport, but with the slow check-in and the security stop, I was a bit nervous about the time. I like to have a meal before I board, especially since I'm flying economy, but I was worried about time. Since the US is a non-Schengen destination, I also have to go through passport control, so yet another opportunity for delay. I was actually in the mood for a hot meal, but I didn't want to risk waiting for something to be cooked. Instead, I just went to Jamie's Italian because they only had to warm up some pizza. It was my first and likely last time going there. When traveling, I like to go with Finnair if possible, even if it's not the cheapest. I think it's important to support local businesses, and as long as the routing and the connections are reasonable, that's what I do. I normally sit in economy and I don't pay for a seat assignment. I try to check in as soon as possible so that I can try and get a better seat if I need to. My partner always pays for an exit row, so I did as well this time so we could sit together. The flight was about 10.5 hours. It wasn't too bad. The meals were okay for airline food. I was a little bored, so I ordered a snack just to have something to do. I watched Dune, which was pretty long for a film. Near the end of the flight, I noticed that they had White Lotus. I'd heard a lot about this series, so I was very interested to see what it was. I have to say they do a really good job of making me hate all the hotel guests. I only got through 2 episodes. I'll watch the rest on my flight back. I think there are 5 more. The toilet was okay. The size was decent. It wasn't in pristine condition, but this was about 6 hours into the flight, so I really couldn't complain. I had a strange experience at immigration. For US citizens, they took our picture on a tablet. Then a screen came up with something with a green check and something saying confirmed or something like that. After that, the immigration agent had all my details. He called me up by my name and I could just basically walk through. I never even showed him my passport. And I was really surprised that they could link my photo from that tablet to my passport, but I guess that's, what do they call it? Facial recognition, so technology continues to improve. In the US, you have to clear customs at your port of entry, so I had to collect my bags in Dallas and recheck them to Orlando. When I finally picked up the rental car in Orlando, it was absolutely filthy. Hertz offered to change it, but it was so late. I'd been traveling for so long, I didn't want to wait around for that, and I was returning the car in 2 days anyway. So, about 25 hours after I started this video, I arrived at my destination. Thanks for watching this travel vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.